I've been on the internet for a long time. I've been cruising the wacky World Wide Web and surfing the cyberspace since the early 90s. Even when Charlie was just a baby boy suckling on mama's titties, I was peeking over her shoulder to get a look at the computer monitor in the background. I've seen many different phases of the internet. I'm sure a lot of you remember dial-up, that abominable piece of shit. It made this unholy screeching sound that sounded like somebody was strangling Pac-Man in the back of a moving dump truck, and it was slower than fuck. If you wanted to load a 2-pixel image, it'd take all day. And God forbid someone tries to use the bathroom in your household. Like if your dad goes into the bathroom somewhere in the house to take a piss, your internet's crashing for the entirety of that bathroom visit with dial-up. It was terrible. But I look back fondly on that era and the memories associated with it. There was a sense of mysticism when it came to the internet and this mysterious cyber world. Especially with friend groups. You know, you'd be talking to your friends about Halo 2 and one of them would bring up, hey, I read online that if you shoot this specific sign with enough rockets from the rocket launcher, it spawns a golden warthog. Oh, you read that on the internet? Well, it probably isn't wrong then. I mean, shit, I was 8 years old and getting scammed. I was being used like a fleshlight by scam services. There used to be a bunch of banners where it's like, click here to win a dirt bike. I'd be like, what the fuck? All I have to do is click here and win a dirt bike? I'm in. So then I'd click it, I'd start filling out surveys and like putting all kinds of sensitive information into it. And next thing you know, my parents' fax machine has been hacked and I don't have a dirt bike. Now, why am I talking about this? Well, because sometimes when it's late at night, I just get these nostalgia boners thinking back on the internet content I used to consume, watching old stick figure animations from Stick Figure Death Theater, that old website, old animated music videos, and I'll just go on this nostalgia journey where I'm just fucking blasted back into my chair like I'm traveling through time watching this old content. And that's what I was doing tonight, and I figured, I might as well share some of it, see if I could inspire some nostalgia boners in some of you out there that might remember it. Now, the first one I'd like to share with you is called Mission to the Moon. This is from a band called Lunar Active. It's an animated music video, and it's criminally underrated. It never took off the way that I thought it should have. It was made around the time Ultimate Showdown was made, and of course, everybody's fucking seen that. It's a classic masterpiece. But I think Mission to the Moon should have been in the same conversation. This song flew under the radar on a website called StickPage, that I think it was StickPage, and this thing just bangs. So I'm just going to share with you an excerpt from it and just talk about it.
The Earth's demise was imminent and it could not be saved. They assigned him to be the messenger who led the planet. No, they'd arrange a paradise on the moon where we all may go. Morning came, he woke up with little time. Preparation. He threw out some postcard in the truck to the story race. Wrote out the blueprint, the components in display. Created one that could carry him into space. He hides in his lunar paradise, and sometimes he yells, "Paradise is paradise." But loneliness, loneliness can be helped.
This thing just absolutely slaps. I'm not going to spoil the ending for you since the song is a story about a man who was tasked with taking humanity to the moon where aliens built a paradise for us because they knew that the Earth was about to explode. So I don't want to give away any of the lore here, but I just wanted to play at least a little bit for you because this whole thing is just so fucking good. And just watching it for even a second, it immediately takes you back to an era where Flash animations were king online. Flash is dead now, but back in the day, that was the most popular content online that I can remember. I still remember going to Newgrounds and watching Flash animated porn. I remember desperately watching tutorials trying to figure out how to make Flash animations of my own, but I just never had the talent or the drive to follow through with it. But it was a great time, and this music video immediately just takes you right back into the fucking pilot seat of that era. Now please allow me to sit you down by the fireplace again and tell you old war stories from back in the day. The next piece of content I'd like to show you is a stick figure animation, and I know this genre isn't dead. Stick figure animations still exist and are still pretty popular, but even modern stick figure animations can't compete with the masterpiece that is the Castle series from Oscar Johansson. These were very popular on Stick Figure Death Theater, which is a website that I think's been dead for like 15 fucking years by now. The only people that know that name anymore, it's triggering like a Winter Soldier episode in them right now. but it was very big there, and that's where I found it and just got glued to it. It is extremely impressive animation, worthy of Academy Awards. It's as if Christopher Nolan got butt-fucked by Michael Bay and decided to make a stick figure series. It's really, really good shit. So I'll show you a clip. This is from Castle 3, Part C. Keep in mind, the upload on this video is 2015, but I think the original release of Castle 3 was in 2008 or 2007. Somewhere in that ballpark, I'm pretty sure. Maybe even 2009. It was still over a fucking decade ago, not 2015. That's just when Oscar decided to post it on YouTube.
He took 2 of our men. He said something.
Shut up!
Look, it has begun.
Hold it!
What are you gonna do? Kill me?
Enough to blast our way out of here.
Not only is the action super stylized and super well done, but also the music and audio design is top notch. I fucking love the soundtrack to the Castle series. Makes you want to pump your fist and shit your pants. It also has a really interesting story with a really interesting group of characters. It's the whole package. The Castle series is an absolute joy. Now, there was going to be a Castle 4, which was going to be the conclusion to the storyline and just wrap up the whole franchise, but as of 2018, Oscar has moved on from the project and put it on hold indefinitely, stating that he just doesn't have the drive for it at the moment to put everything into it that he'd want to, which is understandable, but still is a bit of a shame that we won't get to see the ending to Castle series. But still, the series stands the test of time. It's been over a fucking decade, and it is still top-notch, one of the best, if not the best, stick figure franchise that I think has ever been animated. It's so fucking good. Next up, Flash games. Addicting games, mini clip, the two classics, the two titans of entertainment during the old middle school years, and nothing was more fun or more popular than the helicopter game, the original Flappy Bird. Looking back on it now, it doesn't look like much, but I put more hours into this naughty girl than I did Skyrim. I have so many hours clocked on this game, and I was the best there was when it came to the helicopter game. Truly a classic. Now, of course, during this time, RuneScape was also popular, as well as City of Heroes. Those were two games that I sunk a ton of time into. Both of these games still exist, RuneScape in an official fashion, and City of Heroes through private servers. I've streamed both quite a bit, so it's not as nostalgic to go back and watch videos of the games there, because I can still play them, and they're still just as good today as they were back then. But the helicopter game, I couldn't even find it when I was looking for it online. All I was getting was helicopter simulators. I'm sure it still exists out there, and I didn't look that hard because I probably wouldn't enjoy it anymore. But shit, I just wanted to at least reminisce on this game here. I'm a little upset with this video, though, that didn't have Hypercam 2 on the top, unregistered Hypercam. That would have really completed it nicely. But yeah, anyway, I don't want this to be too long, just showing old content and talking about it. So I just wanted to show a few things because I was really feeling nostalgic tonight. So yeah, that's really about it. So yeah. Porn, the great uniter. The one force that ties strangers to strangers in a way they don't even realize. The one thing every human being has in common, the love of porn, the art of porn, the ethereal beauty of the craft. Now, as the title of the video suggests, I used to watch the same porn video for the better part of 2 years, perhaps a little longer than 2 years, but I'm going to say 2 years just to err on the side of caution. I've made it no secret that I refuse to get a haircut at the moment, and that I also used to have very bad OCD. Not your generic watered down bullshit meaningless version of OCD where you move your car keys from the counter to the drawer because you don't like them on the counter. That's not fucking OCD, you goddamn bigot. Don't you hijack what OCD actually means. I had literal OCD, and one of my rituals was watching the exact same lesbian porn video for the better part of 2 years. And I want to tell you what happened as a result of doing that. Now, let's go ahead and start. The video was called Nice Pair of Lesbians. Let's take a moment of silence to remember that beautiful video from redtube.com. It is no longer on redtube.com. Okay, thank you for participating. The video still exists. I know, I get emails all the time like, hey, I found that lesbian porn that you used to jerk off to, you know, that used to haunt your fucking boners. Here it is. Yes, I know it's still on the internet, but in like 240 and 360p. On RedTube, it used to be 480. 480p or higher does not exist anywhere on the internet anymore. Trust me, I have looked. But that's besides the point. That's just to give you the context of what the video is. Maybe someone else out there used to also have OCD and jerk off to this video for 2 years straight. And if so, you're not alone, my brother, or my sister. You and I now share a cosmic bond, a bond stronger than the bond between a mother and her child. I love you. Now, it wasn't just watching this lesbian porno. I had an entire routine for it, like a choreographed dance routine for jerking off to this video. And I know I've talked about a little of this on the podcast before, but I still get emails asking me to talk more about that porno that I jerked off to for 2 years. So I figured I'd talk more about it. I also get emails asking me what's my Twitch account, and I'm glad you asked. It's twitch.tv/moistcritical. Go drop a follow, subscribe. Love to see you over there. I stream daily. Twitch.tv/moistcritical. Fuck yeah. But anyway, so this routine that I came up with, well, not that I came up with, that I kind of fucking cursed myself with and burdened myself with at the time. I would make certain facial expressions during certain points in the video. I would say certain things to the actresses in the video, and make no mistake, you goddamn delusional incels, the porn actresses are just that, they're actresses. They have a script of certain moves they're going to do. It's not like they're just fingering themselves and ass blasting their assholes with their fists for your enjoyment alone. It is a job, and they are actresses. Get it through your fucking skull. But anyway, I would say things to them like, oh, you're so hot, that's so sexy, I'm touching my dick to you. As if they could hear me, and as if I was communicating to them directly as like the director of this video. It was a really weird routine, it really was. To kind of give you a brief oversight of all of it, I'm not going to walk you through every step that I would do here. In fact, I don't even remember all of them anymore. But before I would watch the video, I would queue it up and let it all buffer and load, because this was a long time ago. I'm fucking using RedTube, so obviously it's a long time ago. And while it was buffering and loading, I would turn around from the video so that way I couldn't see them and they couldn't see me, obviously. And I would look at my penis until it was completely flaccid, entirely soft. So that way I was coming in there with like a clean canvas, and they were going to 100% get me from 0 to hero. So once I was certain that my dick was super soft, I would then sit down and get ready for the action. As it would start, I would say hello to the girls and I'd compliment them on their beauty. The video started with a girl fingering herself, and I would compliment her on how great she was doing, and then the other girl joined in, and then I'd say hi to her, like, oh, hey, you just stopping by? Shit like that. It was really fucking weird. And honestly, I hope the NSA was watching during those times, because I would love to see those documents. I'd love to see that film. I think that shit would make for a really incredible case study on OCD, because that shit was goofy as fuck. And I would love to remember exactly all the shit that I would say. I don't necessarily want to see underage me jerking himself off into the webcam or anything. I could skip that part. But I at least want to see what I was saying to the girls during the video. But that's kind of how it went. Facial expressions, words and things I would say to the girls. It was always the same. I had to make sure I said the same things to the girls. I had to make sure I made the same facial expressions. I even made sure to keep track of licking my lips. I had certain time marks where I felt I needed to lick my lips at those times, otherwise I was disrespecting them. It was very weird. Now, I did this for, like I said, the better part of 2 years, and honestly probably a little bit more, but we'll say 2 years, and I didn't deviate from that video. I didn't venture out. That was my home. I lived in Nice Pair of Lesbians on RedTube, and they took my home away. It's not there anymore. I'd like to remind you all that it's not fucking there. It's a goddamn crime. It's a fucking sin what they've done removing that. But now, to tie it back to the title of the video, I watched the lesbian porn for 2 years. Here's what happened. What happened is I recognized how weird it was, and I started to really combat my OCD, and I started cheating on the porno by watching other videos. I did. I'll come out and say it. I fucking cheated on that porn video and watched other ones. And that's what happened. I stopped being so fucking weird through a lot of effort to try and combat my OCD rituals. I've talked about that in the past, so I'm not going to get into how I did that or the steps I took. But that's the result of watching porn for 2 years. You feel like a fucking degenerate loser, and then eventually you stop, hopefully, if you try hard enough. But anyway, that's the story for today. Thank you all. See ya. I wasn't always this fearless, hulking testosterone tyrant that I am today. It's embarrassing to say this out loud, but actually at one point in my life, I was a child. And as a kid, I was really afraid of horror movies, if you can believe that. Nowadays, I find them to be enjoyably bad. I really like horror movies a lot, but mainly because they're so bad, they're good. But this wasn't always the case. When I was in middle school, just some Lunchables eating, algebra studying little idiot, I couldn't stand even the idea of a horror movie. I used to cover my eyes during the commercials for horror movies during football games, or I'd just leave the room till the horror movie advertisement was over. It was too much for me. And I did finally nut up one day, and I went to the mall with my friends in probably 6th or 7th grade and saw my first horror movie, One Missed Call. It's widely considered one of the worst horror movies ever made. I think it still has a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes, but it was a movie that scared me to my very core. It changed me. It's probably the reason why I'm not afraid of horror movies now, because I got all of the possible fear one could experience across their entire life out within those 2 hours of watching that film in theaters. It was traumatizing to me. And to make it even worse, I saw it with a girl I had a crush on at the time, and I was like, okay, this is going to be big for me. She's going to see how strong and cool I am when I'm not afraid of this. I'll just fucking buckle down and make it through it, no problem. Pretend it was easy. But that plan fell apart, went straight in the shitter almost immediately. I was screaming at every jump scare. I was even tearing up at one point. My blood pressure must have been at 500, and my heart was probably close to exploding with how fast it was beating. It was miserable, and there's no way she thought I was cool. She probably thought she was going to need to call 911 or something. Like, my whole group was probably concerned. I was the only one reacting this way. I was going nuts. From outside that theater auditorium, people must have thought there was a kid being tortured in there. It must have sounded like that scene in Casino Royale when James Bond is getting his nuts fucking blasted by the villain. I was going crazy. And the horror movie, like, looking back on it, wasn't like a good idea or anything. One Missed Call is basically, you get a phone call, they leave a voice message, and it's the sound of you dying. And then as the movie goes, the person who receives that voice message does die in that same way that they heard on the phone. Not the scariest of ideas for a horror movie ever, but this was during a time when the Motorola Razr was still new and I had one. So I had like my own custom ringtone, which was Let Your Shoulder Lean by them Franchise Boys. And, you know, technology was this like weird and wacky new thing. So that idea was enough to scare me. And then the movie itself had a lot of jump scares, which also, like, I'd never experienced a jump scare before, so when that shit was happening, I couldn't contain myself. So I found a video that I actually recorded, I think almost 2 years, maybe even 3 years ago with Jackson, where we went back and watched One Missed Call, kind of like as a way of going back and conquering my fear, because you know, it was time for revenge. Like, you know, this movie scared me one time, but not this time. So Jackson and I went back and watched it. He wanted to see what movie actually scared me, and I wanted to see if the movie was even scary to begin with. So I'll just show you some clips from that.
So wait, were you scared because of the contents of the movie, or did the quality of the movie scare you? Which one?
It was definitely the movie itself. Like, it set out to scare people, and it certainly worked on me. It wasn't like an ironic thing.
So do you remember anything about this? The setting or the characters?
I remember certain scenes, but I don't overall remember, like, what happens.
That place is on fire. Why was she getting so close to this?
She saw a cool fish.
Oh no. Ah! So wait, the phone call says you're gonna die, or would the phone call have said you're gonna die when you lean over the fish pond and I grab your face and pull you in?
You're misunderstanding. So the phone call is you screaming as you die. Like it's your
The
death.
fuck, did the cat get the phone call?
Yeah, man, so now I'm having sex and phone sex at the same time.
Phone sex.
That was some alpha Chad shit. Now I'm having sex and phone sex at the same time.
From now on, I only go to parties where no one gets cremated.
That's probably a pretty cool, pretty good rule of thumb.
Considering my 24-year-old daughter drowned.
It says it's from Shelly.
So just don't answer.
We'll be calling from Shelly's phone.
I think that's one of their genius plans towards the end. Maybe that's how they beat her.
That's
Sounds like Charlie Brown's parents talking.
Yeah, what is it?
So you see what I mean now?
That's your voice.
No. Oh, it's her voice?
Yeah, that was her.
I can tell you how you die, but it plays your last few seconds.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's another thing. They always leave behind that little ball. I remember that.
A Dragon Ball.
Oh baby.
How did she fall?
Yeah,
Yeah, he has.
absolutely.
And that's why he's so freaked out, yeah.
Just a nice hobgoblin going back to work.
Is his head still screwed on?
It was that goddamn
Oh!
hobgoblin.
Setting up a C4 explosion up there. He just spat that out. I'm excited to
This-
see how she dies here.
This whole scene, I closed my eyes, or not closed my eyes, but I turned my head away from and covered my eyes.
Really?
Yep.
You were that much of a pussy?
I was.
Oh, yeah, I'm interested in finding out what was so scary about this movie.
you, darling.
Oh, fuck.
Did that actually scare you?
A little bit. I don't know if it was because it was holding a phone or what. Maybe I'm scared of phones now.
Yeah, this whole scene.
Jesus of Nazareth! You taught this child of
Looking at it now, though, it's like a video game cutscene.
Yeah, this is really bad.
Stop tormenting toward this place!
I told you not to go on this phony baloney show.
Guys, take it easy. I'm a cop.
I'm a cop. I can kill Satan. Why is no one helping?
They're not paid to help.
You okay?
Look, your friend's fine. Oh, that's fucking disgusting. Oh, now he's gonna look through it and he's gonna get fucking killed. Oh no! This is the cheesiest.
You don't know that for sure yet, Jackson. Anything can happen. It's one missed call.
Uh-huh.
This Thunderdome
Look through
is
it. I
lawless.
dare you.
No! No, wait, no!
So the kid is locked in a perpetual asthma attack. That sucks. Why did the mother wait so long to do this?
Now she's free to roam the earth.
She'll do the same thing, but with compliments. You hear yourself having a good day on the voicemail. So the mother didn't really save her. Just kind of threw her back into the phone.
I swear every one of these movies ends the same way.
They really do.